I do oil pulling, but that's not really weird. That's
I don't understand what you're talking about. So today we have a PA in functional medicine. Hey, Lynn, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me today.
I'm talking about why don't I know what oil pulling is?
I spend so much time talking to my clients about the importance of proper nutrition outside of the gym. And the #1 area of struggle is not getting enough protein. So Boss and Kevin developed Vita Hustle 1 superfoods for this very reason. This plant-based blend contains 86 superfood ingredients that support muscle recovery and overall well-being. It's not just about what you do in the gym, it's also about how you fuel your body. So try Vita Hustle 1 superfood in vanilla bean, dark cocoa, which is my fave, or superfood greens in the popular berry flavor. Use code MEAGAIN for 15% off your first order.
Hey guys, we are back with another episode of Me Again. So excited to tell Nature some news.
You can't say news like that. You know, the instant everyone thinks the same shit.
Okay, don't hold your breath. It's not that serious, but I really am excited to tell you what's been going on for the last 2 nights.
Who's sleeping?
Cruz.
Yes.
And I think we're in the clear.
Sleep.
Yep, I weaned him. I've been weaning him for a few weeks, and then finally on Monday, I said, you know what? We got to pull the plug. We got to just really just
do
no
it.
milk, right? So he's already been weaning, and then finally on Monday, I just didn't give him like the few ounces that he was doing at night to soothe, and I just was like helping him, and so he fell asleep finally. It was a tough night on Monday. Come Tuesday, slept straight through 7 to 7.
That's awesome. That's like the best feeling in the world. When my son stopped waking up at 5 for that damn, because he's always been pretty good at a sleeper, because I've, like, me and my boyfriend, we got into arguments about it. I was like, he's not sleeping in the bed. Like, I was that one. He's like, why? I'm like, no. He got a bed. Let him sleep in there. I don't want him to get too comfortable with being in here. So when he weaned off that last bottle, it was like a, oh.
But
So
we're like-minded on that, because
I'm
not for the babies in the bed either.
Absolutely not.
No.
There's
Because, by the way, it's like you're on for 24 hours then. If the baby's in the bed with you, you're still like, your whole situation is revolving around.
Normal. You're not sleeping right. You're half up.
Nope.
They take up most of the bed, even though.
And most of the time they're on the mom, and I'm off the bed, waking up with a cracked back.
Yeah, they're not worried about dad.
So, anyways, I had to let you know.
I'm happy
what's going on in the Everline household.
Now you get to get more sleep.
Yeah, hopefully. So we're almost there. He's gone 2 nights so far. So most of the time with the other boys, once they got to like 4 or 5 nights of like straight away, they're good. And then he's eating all his calories during the day. So I think we're in the running.
As you should be, especially with them 3.
Okay, so that's what's going on in the Everline household. So what's up with you?
Same old shit, just a different day. I'm just I'm trying to keep afloat. Nothing really. Narik has his first sleepover this weekend. Now, I don't do sleepovers. Even when I was growing up, it was like a no-no. But he's sleeping over his cousin's house, so it's a little different.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm curious to see how that's gonna go. But other than that, I've been just working and living, breathing, sleeping. Here.
Blessed,
grateful.
Oh my gosh, girl! I'm so excited for you, or for Narik. He's gonna have a great time, and then you'll get the time off, so that'll be good for you.
Yeah, we're going to a wedding, so that's
where's it at?
Don't quote me, Marietta.
Oh, Marietta.
Yes.
So that's beautiful. So let me give you another tip. So that's out towards Temecula.
Okay.
Which is beautiful wine country.
Shut up.
Yeah, so you're gonna be having some great wine. Top tier.
Okay. That's one thing I want to do is on my bucket list. Oh, like a winery. I just want to go to a winery and like do like the wine tasting and stuff like that.
Okay, so then
not this weekend, Dom.
No, I know, but let me just tell you. Let me just put it in your notes. Have you been to Malibu Wines?
No.
Yeah, that's right up the street. So go up through the canyon. You're gonna go to Malibu Wines. You and your boo get lit in the mountain range, and just enjoy the sunset. Or you can do like a brunch. Sunrise.
Okay. I'm gonna put that on my list.
Okay. You still, like, literally, you have to stay with our.
I know the cadence. I gotta.
Yeah,
do
I don't
it.
think you're doing it.
Well, I did go out this weekend. We had bowling, like, as a team for Just Train. I took too many shots, and the next day I got a tattoo. That was my self-care. I'm working on my sleeve, so that was my self-care.
Wait, let me see what you got.
I'm going all nature theme, baby.
Oh my gosh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Look at the Bambi.
Yeah, the Bambi.
Is that
I'm going
you and
all
your
up.
baby boy?
So slowly but surely, but that was my self-care for the weekend.
Okay, yeah, so that's the topic, right? So self-care. So what are our rituals? What are things that we're doing to prioritize ourselves and, like, focus on the me within? You know what I mean? What do you do?
What are you doing?
Oh, girl, let me tell you.
Tell me.
I'm all about the self-care. So there was a point in my life where, well, with Knox, when I had Knox, I did not focus on myself at all. I was only focusing on him. You know, first-time mom, you're not really knowing. And we were in COVID. I was feeling isolated, locked in. We were building a house. It was a whole thing. And I didn't take care of myself really at all. And so I started feeling it, you know. And then when I came back and had Kate, I said I won't do that again. So I prioritize my needs in order to be, like, the best mom version that I can be. So I have a variety. Are you ready?
Let's jot them down.
Okay, so one, of course, I work out.
Okay.
Which sometimes feels more of a task, but ultimately it is going towards self-care. I love going to the chiropractor. Yes, big for me.
Snacked.
Oh, girl. I live by it, especially during when I was pregnant. So for all the pregnant women out there, the chiropractor throughout the whole thing, game changer. But I still continued even afterwards. And even, like, when you go, they have laser therapy and everything for the epidural side to keep that blood flowing. Massage.
That's something I need to put on mine. Massage, girl.
Yes, I just went to this new spot called, here's another thing for you on your list, Milk and Honey. It's just like a massage spot, and it's in Brentwood, and it was actually really cute and nice. It's, like, super easy, turnkey. Went in there quickly. You leave. It's not a lot of pressure. But it was great. So we went there. Or I went there. So just regular relaxing massage. But then there's also Diana, who is like rehab massage. She's incredible. So she'll do, like, what do you call it? The cupping. And just, like, intense body work massage. So yeah, those are a few that are big for me. And then as of recently, more so self-care is, like, what I'm eating. Focused on my diet, having enough protein, cutting out all the crap that I was doing. It was just making me feel like
shit.
Yes. So I feel a big change in that.
That's good.
I'm all about the self-care.
I am. I low-key am too. I feel like before I had my son, that's probably the most self-care I've ever did in my life, because I was, like, eating great, sleeping great, doing what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do. And I wasn't doing anything crazy, but it was like, this is my regimen. This works for me. I feel great. And then I had a kid. And it was my only. He's my only. So my world became, like, revolved around him. Then we shortly moved out here. So it was like, I feel like when we moved out here, I probably was in the worst mental space of my life. I was like 108 pounds to be exact on the scale. Dang. Like, just not. So now it's the finding that self-care ritual. What am I going to do to kind of push myself up in a sense so that I can be good for my family and give? Because I can't give. I don't got nothing to give. So for now, I'm really getting back into eating wholesome. What I'm eating is really, really important because I feel it. Like, I've been doing really good, and last night we cheated, and we had Raisin Cane's, and I felt it this morning, for sure. So I feel like it's my nutrition. I'm moving. Fitness has always been a big thing for me. And honestly, now it's me trying to find other hobbies outside of fitness and wealth and health because, well...
I'm not mad at wealth.
No way. I take that wealth. I meant health, guys. I meant
health.
I want some wealth. But no, I think for me right now, it's me trying to focus on taking the fitness and the diet out of it because I pretty much got that one down pat. And I feel like that just became me in a sense. And if I just do that, it's not enough. So now it's like, all right, I got to find like a day of the week to go outside and do something. So like on Sunday, I went to get a tat for a couple of hours. Whether I go get my nails done or like just like little things to like center me back. Like you are nature. You're not just mom. You're not just girlfriend. You are nature. Who are you? So that's kind of like the realm I'm at right now.
I love
my
that.
Self-care.
I really love that. That's dope. I mean, and you rang a bell. I completely forgot one of the big ones is, of course, the ones I listed were just tangible things that I'm doing, but mental. So therapy is one.
Yeah, I want to get into that. I haven't touched on that yet, but I know a lot of people go. You go therapy, right?
Yeah. So, well, after I had cruise, I paused it because I couldn't get on a set schedule. But ordinarily, I like to personally just touch base like once a month, even once every 2 months or whatever, and take homework and just kind of work on that. So therapy individually, and then Boss and I also just for the overall us care of our relationship, we would go together just to make sure that we're like maintaining on the same in the same chapter.
Like you know
least.
what I need, I know what you need. You know my self-care, I know your self-care.
Yes, we have to be somewhere in the same chapter because at one point we were on different books. I got a whole different thing going on. He has a whole different thing, and we're just grinding with our heads down. But I said, and we both did. We both made it a point to like, okay, we want to make sure that we're like hearing each other and we're keeping our nucleus strong. So therapy, I think, is huge because it kind of just, I feel like it gives you that moment to like relieve the stress that you've been harboring, and then also mentally just kind of clear out your mind because I get those like racing thoughts and just even sometimes, what do they call the thoughts that are like?
Intrusive thoughts?
Intrusive thoughts. I get that a lot.
And you don't really want to share those.
No.
Because it's like, one, sometimes you feel ashamed or like you're embarrassed that you're even thinking this, or like, oh, no one wants to hear this.
Right.
I don't want to keep complaining.
Right.
Who am I going to tell this to? So you kind of internalize it, and internalizing it, it's not the greatest. Like me, I carry all my stress up here. So I'm always tight. I always look like this. Or I'm like anytime I get body work done, my traps are insane. Like everything is just tight because that's what happens. You hold it all in and it's in your body.
So you know what's crazy is I actually have a girlfriend who began therapy, dealt with all of her stuff over like a year, and ended up losing like 20 pounds.
Isn't that crazy?
And it wasn't that she was big or anything, but lost like 20 pounds because the way she was holding all that anxiety and stress, she had a physical reaction once she dealt with all of that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like our body is fucking amazing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's
so
crazy.
Not only is the therapy or just discussion helpful mentally, but clearly sometimes you can feel it. You know what I mean? Like you can feel that tension.
That just relief. Whew.
Oh my gosh, and we have to relieve it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. Oh, I want to read you something. So there was this.
I love that you always like to read me stuff.
Let me bring you in the loop, girl.
Yeah, because I'll be out of the loop, y'all.
Mrs. New York, Mrs. Staten Island. Okay, so here we go. So according to this theory, human needs can be depicted as a pyramid consisting of 5 levels. So we have physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. So that's the 5. Only once the basic needs, lower down in the hierarchy, are met can we move on to more complex needs. So
Makes sense.
we have physiological is basic needs. So let's play a little game. Let's just answer the questions. So do you feel like your physiological needs are met, your basic needs?
No, actually, because I feel like I was going to say yes because
Red flag.
I eat, I don't go without in terms of food. I go to the store, I get what I need. I have a roof over my head, clothes on my back. But I think it's here too. And I don't have all this down pat yet. So, yes or no? I feel like I got to get my mental straightened up a little bit, because I feel like I fall into like I go blank. Like things get overwhelming, anxiety. I'm not doing it. I'm avoided.
So this is kind of like a big ask then, because I don't think most people are completely clear on physiological needs.
I don't know.
Which could be interesting. I feel like when I read, are my basic needs met? I think so, yes.
Yes.
But when I talk about my mental load, I don't think that, oh yeah, this is a good triangle. I don't think that my mental state is like a check mark.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay, so let's go into safety. So do I feel safe and in control?
Dom, you asked me some real tough questions. I feel safe. In control, no. I'm never in control. I realized that in life. I've come to an acceptance. I feel like my whole life I was trying to be in control, to control everything that goes on around me. And I kind of let up because I realized I have a kid and I also have other people in my life. I can control me, but I can't control anybody else. So safe, yes. In control, my own life, yes.
I feel safe, most certainly. And in control, I do feel overall in control. I feel like I'm control of kind of like my routine.
Your routine.
Who I am, what my kids are doing. Now, as far as in control of a particular moment, that could differ. But I think overall my environment, my home.
Your shit?
Yeah. Well, when my kids lose
their shit and then you lose your shit after they lose their shit.
In that moment, I do not feel safe or in control. But no, I think overall for our family, sorry, I'm like losing my, I think overall for my family and the kids, I think that we have a pretty safe and control environment, which obviously is a reflection of our life.
1000%.
Okay, so while I drink this water, belonging. Do you feel connected?
That is such a deep question, and let me tell you, no, actually. No.
Connected to?
Well, I feel connected to myself, for sure. Connected to the world, not really. I feel like growing up, I always had like a connection issue in a sense of like I wasn't really close with my father's side of the family, only really my mom's side and only a portion of them, and I didn't really feel that much of connection with them. I'm black and white, so it was always like I felt like I connected with one side more, but I didn't really have a relationship with that side. Now coming out here, being by myself completely, there is a big disconnect, and then also I feel like I live under a rock. So like with social media, like I'm not really on social media, which you know about, which we're changing. So just yes or no.
Okay, so this is why though my challenge to you is to get out.
I know, girl. I know.
I mean, if you're not gonna do it, girl, I'm gonna start sending my recommendations to other people.
No, you're gonna keep sending them. Listen, next episode, I'm gonna have a little notepad. Y'all gotta keep me accountable too. I'm gonna have a little notepad.
Oh my God, okay.
I'm gonna start going outside. Don't worry about it.
Yes, you need to. So, do you feel connected? Okay, so that was good. So, do I feel connected? That's a weird question.
That's weird. I have so many different answers.
I need like a psychiatrist. Can Peanut Gallery? Can we get a psychiatrist on here? Because I need help learning these questions.
So what you're talking about connected is a sense of community.
Okay.
Right. So this is actually Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Okay.
Is what
is
deriving from, and so that is.
Oh, I didn't have a community then. So you're right. I'm right.
Shelter, clothing.
Food, shelter, clothing. I knew it was.
Safety, friendships, groups, mentoring. Right. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is what they're.
Okay. Let's see. Here we go.
Right? Oh yeah, I stand firm to my answer.
Okay.
I don't have no group friends out here yet. I don't have no friends out here yet.
Okay. So so do I feel connected? Okay, yeah, I think I feel connected. I feel connected to my friends and my family. Although I kind of do feel a little ostracized because I'm going through this postpartum stuff. But in general, when I'm not doing that, I do think I feel connected. I have a good friendship base. My family is strong. And I'm an only child, so everyone's always checking in on me.
Only children. I'm the middle child.
And my kids, I'm definitely connected to my kids.
Oh, yeah.
And my husband, of course. So, yeah, I would say yeah. Okay, number 4, esteem. Do you feel confident?
Let me say I feel more confident than I did a year ago in this time. So let's say yes. That's it. That's all we're going to leave it at.
That's great. Sometimes I do not feel confident.
And I understand.
And I bet the reason why you feel confident is because you're not overly consuming social media.
Maybe.
I think that's a huge thing. Sometimes my confidence is lowered, my self-confidence, because we live such a faster pace, very over here, over there, traveling type of life. And when you see people on Instagram, and I'm not necessarily influenced by them, but I think subliminally it's tiring constantly seeing women acting like they have it all together. They're getting these surgeries, the body's looking like this after 6 weeks of pregnancy, all this stuff, and it's just not the reality. And I think that when you're just constantly consuming
it's
it,
subconscious.
It kind of gets in the back of your head.
1,000%.
And so it affects. So sometimes I'll take breaks from social media, or I just won't go on, or I won't indulge in certain conversations just because it's just too much. You know what I mean? So that's a thought. Okay, and then the last one is number 5, self-actualization. Am I the best version of myself? Self-fulfillment.
Nope, I could be better. I'll always be better. Always room for growth.
At this time, do you feel like you're the best version of yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, can I be better? Of course. But I feel like I'm better than I was last week. So that's room for improvement. I mean, that's improvement. So that's what I'm looking for.
That's
Just
great.
taking one step at a time. What about you?
It's like I feel like I'm like I'm
Like,
living 2 lives.
It's like jumbled. It's like yes and a no and a no and a yes, and I can give you reasons why, and I can give you reasons why not.
I feel like it's self-actualization, but I'm my best version of myself. I feel like I am the best version for my kids. Like on paper, I'm the best version of myself, but my feelings, I don't necessarily think I'm the best version of myself.
Okay, I actually changed my answer now because I agree I agree 1,000%. I feel like I'm best version, like in terms of work. Like I feel like I'm on and I'm trying to like be the best version of that. So I feel like every day I low-key am, and I'm low-key getting better and, and developed in that. As a mom as well, I feel like I'm doing pretty well with that. But, yeah, like that's everything else. What about us?
Yeah. So I think it's just twofold, but I would love to see those two marry together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my on-paper wife duties, mom duties, house duties, all that stuff to connect with like my fulfillment of like who I am.
Exactly.
And it will.
It will.
Just got to keep trucking.
It's these talks and just like being more mindful about it, honestly.
So that's kind of cool. So we have a TikTok, I think that we need to watch if the peanut gallery can throw it on.
3 girl tips I wish I would have known sooner. Oiling your belly button with any kind of coconut oil or body oil really does help out with dry skin, helps fertility, and also helps with menstrual cramps. This shit feels disgusting. If you suffer with dark circles under your eye, use coffee beans to really brighten the area. I can't see. And if you run out of your favorite facial cleanser, don't worry, just use Dawn dish soap. It works the same way as facial cleanser, just make sure you hurry up and do your skincare right after so you don't dry your fucking skin out.
What?
Time out. She lost me. She lost me with the Dawn.
Okay, hold on. 1, if those are self-care rituals, that's crazy. 2, yeah, no shit. If you put coffee bean, they're black as hell, and you take it off, it's gonna look bright as shit.
It's coffee, but I was following. I thought we was going somewhere. She started rubbing the shit out of her belly button. Okay. Listen, I would love to. I want to know other people's like rituals and their like the way they go about things and their self-care, because I'm sure people do things like that.
You know what
1000%.
self-care I do want to take on? I want to start taking baths.
I do too. I've heard one of my clients, she was like, yeah, I take about at least 5 baths a day. 5 baths a week. A week? I'm taking cat showers, like quick
Yeah.
Quick
It
showers.
sucks.
To sit in a bath? I haven't taken a bath since I was pregnant.
Are there any weird self-care things that you've done? Honestly.
Self-care, weird. I'll go through lengths low-key. I don't know if they're weird. Like, I do oil pulling, but that's not really weird. That's
Hey, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Like, I go through, I like natural stuff. So, like, I go on, like, a tangent where, like, I'll look at things and, like, what things can work with my body and what can help. Like, for example, like, coconut oil. I oil pull in the morning. Like, while I'm making, I leave, I come back home while I'm getting my son ready for school and I make my breakfast. I oil pull. So I put a spoonful of coconut oil in my mouth and I swish it around for like 15, 20 minutes. And then I spit it out. It's supposed to like bring out all your detoxes and like detox your mouth and your body.
I've never heard of oil pulling.
Oh, yeah. I do like, I'm not going to think of all like the little things that I do, but yeah.
But why did you say it like, oh, I just oil pull? And I'm like, are people
Because you
familiar
said-
with this?
Because you said it was, do you have any weird? But
Yes,
I wouldn't
I'm not
call that
talking about that.
weird.
I'm
I'd call
talking
that
about
just
why
like-
don't I know what oil pulling is?
Girl, look it up. Now that we're talking about it, I'm sure your phone's gonna tell you about it. No, oil pulling is great. It's good for like whitening the teeth, just oral health, no breath, no smelly breath. Yeah.
Dang, nature. Okay, you taught me something new every day. Oil pulling.
I used to do it like faithfully before I had my son, and I just started doing it again when I started doing the no gluten. So last week is when I started again.
And you've seen a difference.
I think so.
I love this. That is good. Okay, anything else you can think of? That's actually good, nature. That was a good, weird self-care thing.
Come on. No, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. It might come to me. What about?
I have one.
You have weird. I know you have one.
It's not weird, but now that I think back at it, I think it was the strangest thing that I was doing. So there used to be those Boscia masks. You remember those masks that used to like...
They just sit on
they're
your face?
black, or they also had white ones, and you would peel
pull
it.
them?
I was ripping the hell out of all of my hair, and I'm like, yeah, it's really working. It was ripping all like my protective layer of hairs off of my face.
They could. Ooh, look at all these white heads. I'm
I'm like, actually, it's hair. I thought that was strange.
I got another. I used to do weird shit. I used to make concoctions for my hair. Egg, avocado.
I know you used to do that. I had a feeling about that.
I used to do the most.
No, I used to feel like you used to do something with your hair. Wait, what were you doing?
I used to like. I used to be good. What happened? Not a kid. I used to combine like shit in my kitchen, like egg, avocado. I don't even know what else. I used to make hair masks. I used to do the most. I feel like with all like wholesome stuff, with all like vegetables and fruits and herbs, and I was like one of those. Not to the extent, but like I was on my way.
So you got to get back to that.
I've got to get back to it because I feel like that's my happy place.
Okay, but time out. So today I will say we do have an amazing guest, Lynn Dudley. She is a PA for functional medicine, and we are so lucky she's going to come on and give us the expert tip of how to give, sorry, I'm losing my voice. She's going to give us an expert tip on how to implement self-care rituals into our daily routine. Okay, so I can't stand using plastic water bottles. Path is the first refillable and 100% recyclable bottled water packaged in a sleek and sturdy aluminum container, which I love. They make it easy for our family to feel good about making a positive impact on the environment, including our kids. Also, their bottles are fully customizable. There's this one particular limited edition Path water bottle featuring the Ninja Turtle characters. My boys absolutely love it. They actually fight over who gets to have it, and it's just a great way to teach them and the next generation the importance of reuse. And you can create your own custom Path water bottle for your next event. I was actually just thinking about it. I wish for all of our 3 3 gender reveals that we were able to have a team girl or team boy water bottle for the party. Of course, it would have been all team boys. But so visit drinkpathwater.com to check out the coolest designs and to create your own today. So today we have a PA in functional medicine who's here to give us some tips and tricks, explain to us all the differences between traditional medicine and functional medicine. So we will let her take it from here. Hey, Lynn, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me today.
Of course.
So I did not start out in medicine. I used to actually be an accountant, which I know sounds strange, but I didn't really realize what my passion was until my 30s. And I had 3 kids in tow and decided that I was not passionate about counting other people's money. What I really wanted to do was take care of people. And I just had to figure out how to do that. So I made a major midlife change when I was about 32 years old, went back to school, got my PA degree. And just by luck or accident or good fortune, ended up working for a functional medicine practitioner. I didn't really know what it was at the time. But I never looked back. I never doubted my decision, and I've been thrilled ever since what I get to do for a living, which basically is if you've ever asked yourself, why do I feel the way I feel? Why is this happening to me? Then you're thinking like a functional medicine practitioner, because that's exactly what I do all day, is help people figure that out. It's much more about the root cause of why people feel the way they feel, rather than just the traditional approach where you go into your doctor's office, you tell them about your symptoms. They've got 5-10 minutes to spend with you. They whip out the prescription pad and they try to band-aid your symptoms away with some medication. That's not what we do. We listen. We spend a lot more time trying to understand the big picture of our patients, connect the dots for people, and really get to the root cause of why it's happening. And when you can answer that question, most of the time, you can help people recover from their issues without needing medications at all. So that's what I do all day for a living. I'm very passionate about a new program that we're starting, which is trying to get this functional medicine practice out to more people. Because I think a lot of people yearn for it, want it. They may not know what it's called, but they know exactly what I just said. Can someone please help me figure out what's going on with me? But they may not have access to it. It may not be affordable. They may not know where to go. And so we're in the midst of launching a digital platform that we can get this functional medicine approach out to the masses, available to anyone at any time with no obstacles or restrictions. And so that's me in a nutshell. That's what I do. And I'm
awesome.
Happy to be on with you guys today, talking about a really, really important topic that I'm really passionate about, which is self-care.
Yeah. So my question is, thank you for sharing. In functional medicine, are some of the main components nutrition? Can you kind of let me know where your guys' focus is with that?
Yeah. Great question. And you're absolutely right. In functional medicine, we talk about what I call the foundations, like the baseline things that if you can fix or can have the basics in order, you can fix most people's problems. And those big 4 things are what they eat, whether they move their body, how well they sleep, and how they handle stress. So I start right there. We ask a lot of questions of our new patients and really trying to figure out where in those 4 areas is there opportunity. And there almost always is, because none of us are perfect. But if you can help somebody move the needle in those 4 basic areas through just small habit changes to start, you can really move the needle in a big part of their health. For instance, let's say you can't sleep and you go to your doctor, say, I'm not sleeping. Can you help me? Again, they're probably going to suggest take Ambien. Let's get you on some prescription sleep medicine. Whereas I might say, well, try to figure out why you can't sleep. Or are you stressed about something? Are you eating too close to bedtime? Are you exercising too close to bedtime? Really try to drill down on what it is that's keeping you from sleeping and helping you, guide you through those changes that you can make to fix that problem at the root core of it, not just Band-Aid the symptom with a drug.
Right. So for me, sorry, Nature, did you want to?
No, go ahead.
For me, I'm actually interested because I just had 3 babies back to back to back. And so my hormones are all over the place. And so I've been wondering how to kind of get that under control. Is functional medicine something that I could actually benefit from? Do you guys tackle hormone issues?
I feel you. I had 3 babies back to back to back also.
Hey, sister.
And self-care is extremely important when you're under all that constant stress. And it's not uncommon for hormones to go kind of wacky during postpartum or even, when your children are little, when you're running, pushing, never a moment for yourself, never any downtime. And you're going to crash.
Yeah.
And then your hormones are going to go wacky or vice versa. And again, if you go into your regular doctor or GYN and you have complaints about the hormones, first of all, they don't know how to test for them. They don't really offer to measure them, which I think is really, really important. Mm-hmm. And the second thing is probably they're going to say, oh, I'll just take birth control. Yeah. That'll fix your hormone problems. Just get on the pill. Again, that's not really going to, I'm not saying that's bad. That works. But if you really want to understand why your hormones may not be optimal, there is testing that you can do. You can measure your hormone levels. The number one thing, again, that's going to knock them off is stress levels. So we're going to kind of back up. How many layers down do we need to dig to really figure out what's causing your symptom?
Wow.
Those absolutely help that functional medicine can give any woman if they have hormonal imbalance.
Wow, that's incredible.
And then I have like a quick question with functional medicine, because I know you guys see patients that are broad symptoms, like there's a whole bunch of different symptoms. What do you guys, other than looking at their livelihood and trying to tweak little things and having them understand why, do you guys like use like supplements and like things like that to help your patients as well? Like what's like the kind of protocols and procedures in a sense?
Yeah. So once we get beyond those big 4, what you eat, moving, sleeping, stress, fix that. Then we really roll up our sleeves and do some detective work, because we have a lot more tools in our tool bag to figuring stuff out than your primary care does. So we do a lot more comprehensive testing. For instance, hormones, again, checking hormones in a certain way. Gut health is huge. We have access to much more cutting edge tools to really figure that out. So there's a lot of testing involved that you're not going to get under regular circumstances. And then the options for helping, again, if we need medicine, fine. I went to school, I can prescribe medicines if we need to, but if there is a supplement that could help, maybe we'll choose that. Or if there is, like I said, a diet or lifestyle change, we'll choose that. It's all about coming up with a comprehensive plan that may include more than one thing. We just have more tools to choose from, more ways to figure out the problem, and more tools in our toolbox besides just jump straight to medicine.
Okay, great. And so we actually have a question from a listener right now.
Hi, I was wondering if a woman has hit menopause and she's now postmenopausal, she's still experiencing some symptoms from menopause, and she wants to start doing something with her diet to help her feel better, before she goes to get any hormonal testing done. Where would you suggest she start? Is there a base level or any general recommendations you would give to a woman in that phase? Again, she hasn't gotten any testing done yet. She's feeling some menopausal symptoms, and she just wants to do something with her diet to start with. What would you recommend?
Great question. First of all, that's me. I'm in that phase of my life too. So the number one thing on my list would be, and hope this doesn't sound too harsh, but sugar is not your friend for a lot of reasons, but especially when you're going through hormonal issues and postmenopausal, we'll see sugar intake exacerbate those hormonal type of symptoms. So first, an evaluation of where sugar's coming in to your diet. Second thing is protein after menopause becomes extremely important to maintain your muscle mass, to maintain your bone structure. A lot of things start to change after menopause, a lot of aspects of your health. and protein becomes vitally important as you age. Carbs, that's another thing. Menopausal weight gain, I don't know if you've experienced that yet, but anytime your hormones are out of balance or when they're deficient, weight gain or trouble losing weight can become an issue. And as you age, you get more and more sensitive to carbs. Again, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the things we used to be able to get away with when we're 20, we can't get away with when we're 50. And so that we just have a lot less wiggle room with our carb intake, with our sugar intake, and alcohol. I sound like the police here, but I sound like the fun police. But alcohol intake will also exacerbate some symptoms like hot flashes. I don't know if you're experiencing anything like that yet, but I see a lot of patients who come to me with hot flashes and night sweats. And when they eliminate sugar and alcohol from their diet, it's like magic. So I would start with those basics: sugar, alcohol, carbs. Make sure you get enough protein. Don't go too long without eating. Try to keep your blood sugar stable. That's going to help too.
Oh, good to know. I'll give that to my mom. She is always complaining about hot flashes and this. But what's interesting is she doesn't eat at all. We always joke and say, "You eat like a bird, Mom." I mean, she doesn't eat all day. She has like maybe one meal. So that's great insight. I'll let her know for sure.
That's my mother too. And then she'll do the little snacking in between, and then she complains about, "Oh, I'm hot. Turn the air on." Yeah.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
So nutrition seems like to be a huge factor. I'm interested to know, what would you also suggest for someone who's breastfeeding, for any women that are breastfeeding out there? I know the nutrition is important as well. And then with the hormones that the breastfeeding also has, like the influx of hormones, that could be challenging to kind of navigate. Are there any snacks that you suggest, et cetera?
I think believe it or not, it's similar advice. Mm-hmm. We're talking about hormones. You know, in any phase of life, whether it's PMS, breastfeeding, postpartum, menopause, our hormones like it when and this isn't rocket science, but when we're feeding it nutrient-dense foods in a regular schedule.
Right.
Especially when you're breastfeeding. You know, you have a lot more leeway to take more in. You need more. You need more calories, but you need to be nutrient-dense calories, meaning don't waste those calories on something that's not going to be beneficial to you or your child. Lean proteins, healthy fats, lots of veggies, fruits. Carbs are fine, but make sure they are, preferably the most nutrient-dense kind that are going to be full of fiber. So things like quinoa, brown rice, sweet potatoes, not so much the white starchy carbs. Mm-hmm. And of course, sugar. Sugar is going to be a recurring theme too. Not good for our hormones. Probably not good for a baby either. We don't want to get them addicted to that sweet breast milk. Right.
What about the difference between processed cane sugar and then honey or maple syrups, like that type of sugar?
Yeah, I mean, in the hierarchy of badness, I would say that clearly processed white sugar is the worst. Uh-huh. If you do want to use some type of sweetener, maple syrup, a good quality grade organic maple syrup is okay. So organic honey would be okay. Stevia in small quantities are okay. We've kind of changed our thinking and sweeteners that we used to talk a lot about. A lot of sugar alcohols are not so much recommended anymore. But stevia, small quantities, maple syrup, organic, and organic honey would be much better than processed white sugar.
Right. Awesome. So ultimately, of course, we have so many women listeners. What would be a solid self-care plan that you would suggest, or any tips for women to put a little bit more emphasis on themselves, returning back to me again, and whether it be nutrition, gut health, any supplements, or any of how much sleep should we be getting a night, all of that good stuff. What would be your main tips for women to take away?
So in functional medicine, we talk a lot about something called the autonomic nervous system. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but it's basically the nervous system that helps you, that fight or flight mechanism that kicks in When there's a threat behind you, there's a tiger chasing you, you're going to fight it, or you're going to run away. That's the autonomic nervous system. So it helps us respond to stress, acute stressors. But the way we live our lives is chronic stress, right? There's never a moment, especially as working moms with kids, there's never a moment when there's not some demand on your time. And even though it's not a mortal threat to your existence, your autonomic nervous system takes in all those stressors all day long and it stores them up. And so when I talk about self-care, what we're really talking about is, how do you convince your autonomic nervous system that the world's not ending? Wow. How do you convince your autonomic nervous system that there's not actually a tiger behind you, even though you may run your life like it is? And so, we call that self-care. I call it taking care of your autonomic nervous system. And my number one, without a doubt, go-to would be a regular daily, some type of meditation or mindfulness practice. I could spend 5 hours talking to you about all the science behind how much good meditation and mindfulness does for your system overall, and to calm that threshold of stress that we all walk around in. Anything that you can do to signal safety to your system is helpful. So we talk about things like, other than meditation and mindfulness, we talk about getting a massage, or we talk about going for a walk in nature, or all those are fabulous. And they're fabulous because they're dialing down the level of threat that your autonomic nervous system feels that it's in. So bottom line is, it's whatever brings you joy. It's whatever feeds your soul. It's whatever refills you, replenishes you. That's going to tell your autonomic nervous system that everything's okay.
Wow.
I personally do meditation 20 minutes twice a day. It was a life-changing thing for me because I had my own bout with, let's call it a crash, a few years ago when I was a working mom not taking care of myself. And, it finally caught up with me. And I had a bout of severe stress, anxiety, fatigue. And I was forced, your autonomic nervous system will force you to take care of it one way or the other. Right. Eventually, it'll catch up with you. And so I had my day of reckoning. And that's when I discovered the power of meditation, which I will not go without. It completely changed my life. So that would be my one piece of advice, whether it be, 5 minutes of sitting in a chair and just breathing deep, or, getting an app on your phone, taking a formal meditation course, meeting with a mindfulness coach. That would be my number one recommendation by far.
Wow.
Along with that, I think sleep, you mentioned sleep.
Yes.
That's probably the biggest culprit or biggest opportunity we have, again, to nourish ourselves, is to get enough sleep. Studies show that about 7 hours is what you need. A lot of people don't get 7 hours, or we don't get a good quality 7 hours. It's a broken up 7 hours, especially if you have little kids. But that should be your goal, is try to get 7 hours. I love the idea of sleep tracking. So I have an Oura Ring. There's other sleep tracking devices that can really help you understand about the quality of your sleep and how things affect your sleep. Okay. So focusing on sleep, some type of mindfulness meditation practice, and anything that brings you joy, anything that refills you up, is what I would suggest.
That is refreshing.
It is very refreshing. I feel like I needed to bring that in. And I feel like a lot of people, after watching this episode, are going to have questions, because not a lot of people know about the functional medicine realm. It's something that I've been doing so much research on, because I've had like my own issues myself. But so where would somebody find someone, like when they're in their search, what are some qualifications they may have to be looking for to find someone like yourself or a doctor that specializes in functional medicine?
Well, and starting in 2025, you can see us digitally. Finding someone in your area, I would suggest going to the Institute of Functional Medicine. IFM.com is an organization that a lot of practitioners like me, functional medicine practitioners, belong to. And you can, type in your zip code, find a doctor near you for someone that practices like I do. You can also keep in touch with us, Lyra Health, LERA Health.com. You can sign up to be, kept abreast of our progress and get our newsletter and be informed of when we're going to launch. If you have more specific questions, you can email us at hello@lyrahealth.com. Be happy to help you in your journey. But that's the point. Is there are so many people out there that I think like this. To me, it's common sense type of a medicine approach, but don't know how to start or where to go or who to ask. And there's people out there who quite frankly, don't really know what they're doing or whose credentials you have to watch out for.
Exactly. Oh, I'm sorry. Exactly. So like that qualification. Okay. You said what is the website's called again?
Just lyrahealth.com. LERA health.com.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I feel like for women too, it's very preventative too, to start your journey, even if before you get to that rock bottom position, or, whatever different phases we go through as women, like before we approach menopause and all of that good stuff, to start early and kind of start before it happens. Do you also see women for those preventative methods, or is it kind of symptomatic?
Well, women are better than men at being preventive minded.
Right.
Yes, women. I love it when women in their 20s show up.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, yes. If I could go back in time and tell my past self, what I know now, I would have done things a lot different. But I love the idea of intervening early and preventing the crash. Preventing the problems that you're going to end up with when you're 40s, 50s, and 60s. To have these tools to empower people. To have them understand you have the power.
Right.
Your health is in your hands. My job is to give you the keys of your car, teach you how to drive it. And if I can get you in your 20s, you can avoid a lot of problems later on in life. I love that.
Well, I'm not in my 20s, but you'll definitely be hearing from me because I need help. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much, Lynn, for being on and sharing from the doctor's mouth. We need 7 hours of sleep, please. And we can't wait to share your story and your practice with everybody.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk soon.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining myself and Nature for another episode of Me Again. We are so excited. We want to actually hear from you on your self-care tips, because I know I need some and I'm taking all bets. And maybe we can do a little follow-along thing where we start implementing your guys' routines into ours and see how we do. So send us your self-care routines. Interested, too, if you guys have any questions for functional medicine, we'd love to contact Lynn Dudley back onto the show, and she can answer any questions that you guys have. And let's all be about wellness, self-care, and better versions of ourselves to become me again. So thanks again, guys, for listening, and we will see you next week.